Okay, so here we are once again with another Mcfarlane DC Multiverse unboxing, and this is Steve Trevor from the DC Direct Page Punchers line. I don't really see where it says Page. Here we go. Little teeny tiny Page Punchers logo down there. And it looks like it's got the same comic book that the Wonder Woman figure came with. It's one of these red platinum edition. I still don't know what red platinum edition means. If anybody wants to tell me what it means in the comments, that'd be nice. But I got no idea. I got nothing. I'm sorry, folks. But yeah, not a whole lot else to say about the packaging since it's the same packaging as we saw with Wonder Woman here recently. So let's go ahead and open them up. I wasn't sure if I was even going to find this guy. And in fact, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to find this guy. But I ran across him at Target the other day, and I'm like, well, I guess I better buy him since who knows if I'll ever see this figure again. And of course, it's in this annoying package that you got to use scissors to get it open. So I borrowed the kitchen shears, and hopefully I'll remember to put those back. Anyway, there we go. So we got that open. And we can go ahead and pull that up. And we don't have to talk about the comic book too much because I already talked about this comic book in the Wonder Woman episode. It does look to be the same exact comic book. Steve doesn't get his own comic book. He just, he's in the Wonder Woman comic. So that's what you get. It would have been nice if maybe they had like the second half of the story because like I said, they're supposed to explain how she got her Diana Prince identity in another story. That would have been a good one to put in here, but nope, we just get the same comic again. But he does get his own trading card. Let's see if I can get it out of this packaging without destroying it. And it was already kind of has a little crease at the bottom there. It's so nice that like my limited edition, hard to find trading card. It's got two creases in the bottom. Look at that, where it's kind of crimped, where it was in that packaging. So it's just ruined, like just right out of the package. Like ruined before I even touched it. But there's what the back it looks like. I'm not sure who did this artwork on the front, but it looks to me like Dick Giordano inks. At least I don't know who did the pencils. It might have been him doing the pencils also, but I'm pretty sure that's him doing the inks. That's what the back of the trading card looks like. And it reads Page Punchers, Steve Trevor, debut, All Star Comics, Volume 1, Number 8, December 1941, January 1942. It was a bi monthly magazine. A true warrior, decorated pilot, and respected command officer, Steve Trevor met the Amazon Diana when his plane crashed on hidden island Themyscira. They just called it Paradise Island back in the Golden Age. She nursed him back to health and, after winning a fierce worthiness contest, escorted him and the bodies of his fallen comrades back to the outside world. A veteran soldier, well respected in the intelligence community, Trevor became her advocate, guiding her through the labyrinth of security organizations such as the DEO and Argus, and inevitably her lover. They actually use the word lover on here. So this just kind of seems like a general description of the character of Steve Trevor and has a lot of modern stuff in it that doesn't really apply to the Golden Age version of the character. Like Argus wasn't even a thing that existed in the 1940s, and neither was the DEO. So he was just an Army Air Corps pilot. Hell, the Air Force didn't even exist at that time. It was the Army Air Corps. So here's the figure stand that he comes with, and it's a typical matte black figure stand with a white DC logo printed onto it. This is the 1970s style DC logo since they've started using that again. And we can go ahead and get the figure out now since we've been over all of that. But yeah, I was hoping I'd find this guy, and I really wasn't sure if I would. Steve Trevor in the comic book is kind of a character that's almost like a gender swapped version of Lois Lane. Like how Wonder Woman herself is like a almost kind of like a more feminine version of Superman. Dr. Marston, when he created the character, said that he was kind of aghast at the blood-curdling masculinity of the male superheroes and wanted to create a beautiful and exciting woman to be a hero for children, so that they would have a feminine role model, somebody a little more in line with his worldview, which was an interesting worldview to say the least. Let's put it that way. But yeah, Steve Trevor was had kind of some things in common with Lois Lane, uh, which kind of makes sense, but also like had a few things about him that were fairly unique. Like I said, he was a military man. He was a oh man, that's kind of washed out there. He was an Army Air Corps pilot, and Diana eventually became his secretary when she took her Diana Prince identity. I do really like the look of this figure. The head sculpt to me actually does look quite a bit like Lyle Waggoner, who played Steve Trevor on the 1970s Wonder Woman television show, co-starring with Linda Carter. He's got the blonde hair of the comic book version rather than Waggoner's own dark hair. But the sculpt of the figure, I don't know why it's getting washed out like that. I don't know why this is a thing. That's annoying. Uh, but yeah, he does look a lot like I think Lyle Waggoner, how he looked on the show, other than the blonde hair. And he's got a fairly, I think, authentic looking. To me, it's authentic looking. I'm sure some other people could pick out some different. It looks more authentic than Sergeant Rock. Let me put it that way. The Sergeant Rock figure, that thing was a hot mess. I wasn't interested in touching that. But this to me looks a bit more like a World War II type military uniform, which I appreciate. I don't know if he'd be wearing cargo pants with a dress uniform top like that, but whatever. It was wartime. I guess he wore whatever he had to wear. So he's got combat boots. A lot of good details on this. A lot of wrinkles and details and seams and pockets and medals and things like that. I don't see any rank insignia on this guy. He should be a colonel. So, but I don't see any rank insignia on him. So he should have like a little eagle, like colonels tend to have. And he does come with at least one more accessory that I got to get out of here, which is got an automatic pistol. So Steve comes with a gun, which is nice. It's too bad they didn't wait on Sergeant Rock. If they'd have done Sergeant Rock now, they could have used the same cargo pants that Steve has, and that would have been a lot more authentic. And they could have had Sergeant Rock come with a gun, which would have been a lot more authentic. Now, to me, and I've said before how I'm not like an expert in guns. So I might be wrong about this, but to me, this gun looks a little too modern to be coming with like a World War II era soldier like Steve. Like this looks kind of like more like a modern Glock than like the Colt automatic that I figure a World War II soldier would come with. But at least he comes with a gun, Sergeant Rock. I'm just throwing it out there. And he doesn't have any extra hands, so he's just got the two hands that come on the figure, and one of them is a gripping hand, which does look to have a trigger finger. So he should be able to hold his gun properly in that hand, so that's good. And the other hand is just a solid fist, so he can only really hold his gun in one hand. So let's go ahead and put the gun in his hand and see how he looks holding that. Hopefully he'll be able to hold that fairly well with the trigger finger and everything. And the hand does seem to be like made of a fairly pliable plastic, so it's pretty easy for me to get the gun into his hand. So there he is, ready for action. And he's got this Sam Brown belt, you see, kind of khaki shirt and a tie. And I don't know why it keeps washing out like that. It hasn't. Is it going to do that with her? It doesn't do that with her. Yeah, I got Wonder Woman over here, so we can see these two together. And don't they make a cute couple? And she is a little bit taller than him. That's more of a modern thing. Like in the Golden Age, I think Wonder Woman was only like 5'10", so she wouldn't have really been taller than Steve. I think Linda Carter was about 5'10" too. So, which is, like on the taller side for a woman, but not like, unusually tall. This is more of a Darwin Cook kind of thing, like New Frontier. He drew Wonder Woman as being like particularly tall in that, towering over Superman even. But I'm not complaining. I like Wonder Woman being tall. I think that's pretty cool. So I think that works out pretty neat. I think they look good together. So, but yeah, she is taller than him, definitely. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. So Steve Trevor can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around at the shoulders. They do seem to have a little bit of a butterfly joint, which is good. And they've got spacers in there, which is unusual to see on a character with a jacket like this. He does have a bicep, so the bicep rotates all the way around, and that's just a straight cut across there. You can see it doesn't have like that sort of we have a look at the Riddler here, where they try to incorporate the shape of the muscles into it, so that it kind of hides that joint a little bit. But since it's just a jacket, it still works just fine. He's got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. Oh yeah, he can raise his arms up to the side about that far. So that's about how far that raises up. Almost forgotten to mention that. He's got the cool Mcfarlane ball joint wrists. So these wrists can move around any which way you want him to. By the way, he's wearing brown gloves, which I like. He's got a cool look to him. He definitely looks like, to me, like a World War II kind of soldier, which is what you want Steve Trevor to look like. I will say one thing that kind of disappoints me is I wish this hat was removable, but it is not removable. It is just solidly onto his head. I would like to, have the option of displaying Steve without the hat if I really wanted to. Man, if you look at the gun barrel here, like you see what I'm talking about, where it has that sort of more modern firearm kind of look to it. Well, again, I'm not like an expert in guns. Like I know a lot of people who are experts in guns, and they could tell you for certain. But to my untrained eye, it does appear like this is a more modern firearm than probably what should have come with this figure. But I do like a lot of the details of these medals on his chest and the ribbons and everything. So and the pockets and the Sam Brown belt, and it's just a cool looking military uniform. I really like it. Even though, like I said, I'm not sure if he should really have cargo. This looks like a too dressy of a jacket to go with these type of pants. I could be wrong. Again, somebody in the comments, please correct me if I am wrong, or chime in and let me know how right I am or am not. I would appreciate that for anybody who's a little bit more of an expert in military uniforms. But like I said, to my eye, it looks authentic. It looks good for a comic book version of a World War II soldier. Let's put it that way. Bobby Wallet is here, and he says, when it comes to Wonder Woman, I always wonder why Gal Gadot's accent is so thick that Wishing Stone couldn't understand her wish to bring Steve Trevor back to life in his own body. Maybe, I don't know. So I know a lot of people have complained about that, but that's never been a problem for me. Like, I figure Wonder Woman, obviously English was a second language to her anyway, so I didn't really have a problem with her having an accent. That never really bothered me. I know some people it does, and that's fine. Like I get you're used to what you're used to, and of course, if you're like me and you grew up with the Linda Carter Wonder Woman television series, obviously you shouldn't have an accent on that. And I never once questioned it. But I don't have a problem with her having an accent either. I could go either way. It's fine, whatever. So, but yeah, she is way taller than him. So she, like Carrie Morrell, like she'd been on the TV show when he was wounded, and she ran into the army hospital with him. So yeah, it's funny. So, but yeah, he's a really cool figure. I like how this turned out. Oh yeah, we gotta get back to the articulation. I almost forgot. So he does have some torso articulation, so it rotates all the way around at the waist, and I think it's probably got like some kind of articulation underneath, but it's kind of hard for me to tell what's going on here. This it's the rubber jacket is like this whole thing is a separate piece, you see. Like it's just like a sleeve like they put over this whole torso. and it does give you a good amount of articulation. Like he can bend forward that way and bend backward that way, and it doesn't seem to hinder the torso articulation too much. You can still get him into some pretty good poses for a character with a jacket like this. I think it works pretty well. Like this is good articulation for what it is. Bobby Wald says the first Wonder Woman movie was okay. The second one was just all over the place. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I was really looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984, and I watched it when it first came out on Christmas Day, and yeah, I was pretty disappointed in it. Like, it wasn't as good as anywhere near as good as the first one. I still like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I still think she did a good job, and she had good chemistry with Chris Pine, and he's a good dude. I always like seeing him and stuff. He's a good actor, and there was some stuff in there that I kind of felt like was like a nice homage to the original TV show, and of course it had Linda Carter in it, and that was nice, and she's still freaking beautiful. Like, but yeah, like I think part of the problem with that movie is it was kind of overstuffed. Like there was a lot of stuff going on in that movie, and it didn't have like really a particularly strong villain, which is a shame because it had the cheetah in it, who's supposed to be Wonder Woman's arch nemesis. She's not my personal favorite Wonder Woman villain, but the cheetah's still pretty cool. She was in the Legion of Doom and everything. And honestly, like I know some people were kind of like perplexed at the casting of Kristen Wiig. I think you say Wiig. I think that's how that's said. But I think she's a pretty good actress, and she did, I think, as good a job as one could with that particular material. But but yeah, there was a lot of issues with that movie where I kind of felt like they could have done a better job with a lot of stuff. I don't think it's quite as awful as its reputation. I might change my mind if I ever revisit it. But on the other hand, I still haven't ever rewatched that movie nor felt the desire to. So it obviously isn't anything that great either. So, so yeah, that movie had a lot of problems to it, but I would still like to see Gal Gadot return as Wonder Woman, particularly if they ever get around to doing a Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Just throwing that out there. It'd be a nice thing to see eventually. So, but anyway, the Steve Trevor action figure is really cool. I keep getting distracted from the articulation. So he's got that little bit of a wobble here, which that's good. He can kick up about that far. So you can see the jacket doesn't really interfere with the leg articulation too much, so that's nice. If you had a plane in scale with these figures, he could sit in it, so that's nice. Of course, Wonder Woman always comes with a plane because he just kind of set her down like that, and she's already flying her invisible plane, so that's cool. So anyway, he's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. There's no boot cut. It does look like these are this is a solid shin here. A lot of the times they have these boots be a different color from the rest of the shin, but I think it's the same piece of plastic in this case. But he does have the cool Mcfarlane ankle articulation, so the ankle rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the shin and also where the ankle meets the foot. So we still get a lot of good articulation out of it. The ankle points down about that far, and oh wait, that's pointing the wrong way. Okay, so the foot points down. Well, that's better. About that far, and points up about that far, and then he's got toe articulation just to show off. But man, they got some really good detail on these boots with like the treads and everything. He looks really cool. Like I said, this is a good kind of like World War II soldier kind of figure. I'm happy with how it turned out. Like a minor complaint, little bit of a nitpick. I do wish again that this hat was removable, and I think that would make this figure just absolutely perfect. But as it is, it's a great figure that's not quite perfect. But they definitely did a better job with this than that Sergeant Rock figure they did a while back that I never even bought. And I was pretty psyched when I saw they were doing Sergeant Rock, but when I saw how it was executed, I just wasn't too impressed with it. I couldn't pull the trigger on it, honestly. It was just very disappointing to me. But this one, I feel like they did a much better job, and it kind of makes me wish they'd revisit Sergeant Rock. But I kind of doubt that would be anything that they would get around to doing. And like I said, it reminds me a lot of Darwin Cook's artwork, and I don't remember him drawing Steve Trevor in New Frontier or anywhere else really, but he looks about like how I would imagine Darwin Cook would have drawn Steve Trevor, and I think he just looked great. I'm really happy with how this turned out. He looks good with Wonder Woman too. They do make a cute couple, don't they? And he's in his correct body this time. He's not, some jabroni in a tracksuit. So so yeah, very cool. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for Steve Trevor. I was really excited to find this figure the other day, and I'm really happy to have the opportunity to open up this figure on this channel, which I thought I wasn't going to have. So we do have still some more DC Universe stuff to come. We've got like a bunch of Superman figures and some Green Lantern figures. Oh, I've got this guy that I still need to open. I keep forgetting about. I got Orion. I got Fire. I got did I have anything else over here? I don't even remember if I got anything else over here. We already opened Max Mercury. We already opened Commander Steel. I still have the Cyclone figure from Black Adam that I got those for like super cheap a while back. I got a couple of them because I had some custom ideas for that. And they had the thing GameStop has sometimes where like if you buy something on clearance, you get something else on clearance for half price. And they had those two figures sitting there for $6, those two Cyclone figures. And I'm like, at this point, I'm just gonna buy these just because I feel bad for the figures just sitting there ever since that movie came out. And but I think I got a good custom idea for one of them, and the other one I'll keep as is. But yeah, I think I'll go ahead and open up Orion next because I've been sitting on this Orion figure for a while, and I think that'll be a good one to open. But we got the movie version of Lex Luthor. We've got the movie version of Mr. Terrific. Those both I was able to get for cheap. So we'll have those to open up once we get into more Superman stuff. We got a lot of Green Lantern stuff, but I'm kind of putting the Green Lantern stuff aside until I get my Obsidian figure in because like that'll all tie together. So and that's not supposed to show up till October. So we'll probably open up those Green Lantern figures in October. Oh, I did get the notification that my Super Friends figures have shipped. So the next wave of Superman figures or Super Friends figures to come out, which has Superman, Flash, Cheetah, speaking of her, Captain Cold, and Toyman. So we'll have those to open up probably sometime next week is when they're supposed to show up. So I'll probably do those after I do the Superman Multiverse figure. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that stream with Captain Have Fun that I've been promising. Hopefully we'll do that next week. Really wanted to do it this week, but it didn't work out. That's just how that goes sometimes. But Bobby Wald says, I wonder if those clearance items will sell better if they had a Sarah McLachlan song playing. I'm not a bad toy. I don't know how I got on clearance. Yeah, that was pretty much it for me. It's like I've seen those sitting there like forever, and they were only like $6, and that's cheap enough for me to buy pretty much any DC Multiverse figure. And like I said, I wound up getting a good custom idea, but we'll see if I actually get around to actually doing it. Anyway, I think that's it for Steve Trevor. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Steve Trevor, both the character in general and this figure specifically. I know a lot of people don't really care for this character because they just say he's just a male Lois Lane, and I can understand that. But I like Lois Lane, so I don't really mind that so much. But when he's done right, he can be really cool. And like I said, I really liked Lyle Waggoner on the television show of Wonder Woman. I thought he did a really good job playing Steve on that. I liked the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. They did a great job with him on that. Like I said, I mentioned Chris Pine earlier. I like Chris Pine just as an actor in general, so I enjoyed him in at least the first Wonder Woman movie. But I do kind of think about the episode of The Brave and the Bold where Steve Trevor showed up, and Batman obviously wasn't too big a fan of Steve Trevor. He's, what does she see in him? But the heart wants what the heart wants, and Wonder Woman surely loves this guy. So it is what it is. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.